Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to our seventh annual Difference Maker competition at the Francis College of Engineering, the prototyping competition. My name is Kavita Chandra. I'm the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs in the Francis College of Engineering. Let me give you a bit of a background about this competition. It was designed to promote and recognize innovation in the college. This year, we received 17 applications. There was a semifinalist judging round in November where all of the student team pitches were scored. Here's a bit of an agenda for what I'm showing you here is the agenda that we're going to have for today. Tonight, you will hear from the top 5 teams who were selected to compete for the $5,500 in prizes. So we're going to have each of the teams present in 5 minutes, present their idea. That will be followed by a 5-minute discussion or a Q&A session for the judges. After all 5 teams have presented, we will have a 30-minute break when the judges will deliberate and select the first, second, and third place winners. At around 8:15, the judges will return and the winners will be announced. So a little bit of a background. We know from previous competitions that the teams that have done or won through this particular competition goes on to do really great things. I'll give you one example. Invisaware, a safety jewelry application, which won the prototyping competition some years ago, and they also won the DifferenceMaker Innovative Technology Solution Award. With their funding and the additional DifferenceMaker support, they have now reached over $1 million in sales. They have an office space in Lowell, and they're employing 9 people. They've also been featured on various news stations, including WCVB and Fox 25, and acknowledged how their product has saved lives. So what I also want to do is acknowledge another winner from last year's DifferenceMaker Idea Challenge. The project was called Ambulatory Innovations. They have pitched and won many regional competitions, including against universities such as Harvard, MIT, BU, and Northeastern. This team is currently working with the UMass Lowell Nerve Center to develop and test their prototype, which was a mat to help physical therapists treat their patients by simulating outdoor terrain. So that just tells you a little bit about the creativity of our students and the success they've had in the past. What I want to do before we start is take a few moments to thank some of the people who made this happen. First of all, let me thank everyone who's joined us virtually this evening. And I'm going to start by thanking our faculty fellows first. They make all the difference with our students in the mentorship that they provide. And they act as ambassadors for difference makers within their colleges and departments. These faculty members mentor and prepare the students for competitions such as these. So in particular, I want to thank Carter Keogh, Kalila Wolkowitz, and Hunter Mack, all professors in the mechanical engineering department who did a tremendous amount of work with our student groups this year. Next, I want to thank Steve Tello, our Vice Provost for Graduate Professional and Online Studies. From the Difference Maker team, I want to thank Holly Butler, the Program Director, for collaborating with our college on this event, and Sally Washburn, our Senior Director for Development, who was instrumental in recruiting this amazing group of judges that we've had for this event. As you've seen, I also want to thank our IT department for helping us set up this event and for hanging around in the background and making sure that all of things here go smoothly. Let me also thank our provost, Joseph Hartman, and also Chancellor Maloney, and everybody else in the administration who's shown such an amount of support for our students in these competitions over the past few years. So now what I want to do is recognize our preliminary pitch-off judges. This panel of 8 judges scored all of the semifinalist student teams and gave them incredible amount of feedback towards their projects. So I want to thank Chris McKenna, Rich Caruso, Christine Miziok, Steve Geister, Chris Olson, Loretta Doughty, Natalie Olson, and Bhupin Shah. So what I'm gonna do next is introduce tonight's final pitch-off judges that you see here. I want to welcome them to this event. Chad LaFrance, Director of Texas Instruments, Mark Saab, Founding Trustee, the Saab Family Foundation, Ram Sudhi Reddy, CEO and co-founder of Bento, Manye Goldberg, CEO and founder of Prevo Technologies, and Jack Wilson, President Emeritus of the UMass System and Distinguished Professor of Higher Education for Emerging Technologies and Innovation. So thank you all for taking on this particular opportunity, and our students are immensely grateful for your contributions here. Before I go to the next, I want to actually thank Diane Reichlin, our undergraduate program coordinator, who put in such an amount of enthusiasm and work in this past few weeks to get this event going. We couldn't have done it without her, so thank you, Diane. So here's what's going to happen. As I said before, we're going to start with our 5 teams who have made it to the top. They will each speak for about 5 minutes. There will be opportunities for the judges to ask questions for about 5 minutes. So that should take us about an hour. And around 8:15, we will break for 30 minutes to deliberate on who are going to be the top 3 teams. I also want to say that due to COVID-19 and the difficulties we've had accessing prototype resources, the student pitches will be scored more heavily based on their ideas, the research they've done, and their presentation. But we do encourage all of the teams to showcase their prototypes when possible during their presentation. So once there's a decision on who the top 3 winners are, we will come back to this particular webinar, and then we'll make an announcement of the first place team who will win $2,500. The second place is $1,500. The third place is $1,000. And we also have a People's Choice Award that is going to be announced at the same time. They will receive $500. So also, before I end, I want to mention that the first place winner will automatically advance into the DifferenceMaker preliminary pitch-off this spring. That's a chance to win $50,000 in funding. So you want to, take advantage of that opportunity. So I want to wish each of the teams the best of luck. And we're ready to pitch. So I'm going to stop my screen share right now and call on the first team in no particular order. The first team we're going to be hearing from is an apple a day. So the team members are Emily Philpott, Param Rajeshbhai Patel, and Jack Ryan. Are you ready? Apple a day.
They are coming on screen now.
All right.
Good evening. Okay. Everyone seen that well?
We can see you.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right. Is the rest of my team here?
I think we have a wrong Emily here. We have Emily Philpott, and by mistakenly, the IT guy added Emily Doherty. So
Thank you for the correction. I'll do that right now. Sorry about that. Just to confirm, we are looking for Emily Doherty today. That's correct.
Emily Philpott.
Philpott, perfect. Thank you.
Emily Philpott.
Just promoted to panelist. Thank you, folks. This is the fun of running an online event. We appreciate your patience.
Hi. Can you all see me now?
I am spotlighting you at the moment. There we go.
Great. It's just popping into the void. All right. Hello, this is An Apple a Day. My name is Emily Philpott. I'm a sophomore in the Mechanical Engineering Department, and I have a Bachelor of Arts in Psychological Science and Video Art.
Hi, my name is Jack Ryan, and I am a junior in the Mechanical Engineering Department.
My name is Param Patel, and I'm a sophomore in mechanical engineering. And our product, An Apple a Day, is a pill container for kids. Many children have difficulty with medication or multivitamin regimen adherence, and that causes a lot of problems in their parents' life. And as compared to regular pill case available at pharmacy or departmental store, lacks the stylistic and fun that kids are drawn into their childhood. Pill cases have traditionally been marketed towards the older adult market. This is because 47% of ages 20 to 59 and 85% of ages 60 and over take prescription medication. However, 18% of children ages 0 to 11 and 27% of adolescents ages 12 to 19 take prescription medication also. And this marketable age group is often overlooked.
So our solution is an apple-shaped pill case. It's an organizer for medication and vitamins. It's shaped like an apple to be a little bit more fun and appealing. The apple has 7 slices. Each slice has 3 components and a screw top stem, which you can see fully assembled to the right. And we would be using the same number 5 plastic that is used in ordinary pill bottles. So the biggest advantage of An Apple a Day is just how easy it is to take on the go. In comparison to having to take an entire pill bottle with you on your daily outings, you take today's slice with today's doses, and you can leave the prescription bottle at home. It also has a safety screw section, which you can screw into the top to keep all the slices secured. Figure 5 offers would be colors that we could offer in the future. Now diving into the individual components of our product, Figure 6 shows the core of the product. It's designed to be a handy base to keep all the individual slices organized. Moving to Figure 7, we see one of the, Moving to Figure 7, we see one of the slices with 3 components to have access to morning, noon, and night. This is our on-the-go part that you take with you wherever you go. And then Figure 8 is the locking stem, which when screwed into the top of the core, it prevents each of the slices from being removed.
Hey guys, sorry, I can't see the presentations. I can only see the presenters. Is everybody else seeing the same thing?
Mark, let me quickly see what I can do about that. Sound off, other judges. Can you see the presentation?
I have no problem seeing the presentation. It's quite clear.
I have no problem either.
Wow, okay.
No problem for me. I can see it.
All right. If you can, for any panelists who may be having trouble viewing the conversation, viewing the presentation, just shoot me a message in the chat, please.
Are we all set to move forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here is an animation of how each slice would be removed from the core. On each slice, there's a male component and there's a female slot on the core, each being over 50% of a cylinder to ensure that the piece can only be removed in an upward vertical fashion. And here are some examples of our first prototypes of the product, printed using an Ender 3 3D printer, 1.75 polylactide filament. From this prototype of the slice, the top and bottom sections can hold 10 200 milligram pills, and the middle can hold up to 14.
Initial feedback from potential consumers has found a high interest by parents of children who take prescription medication. The interest really lies in the ability to remove sections for on-the-go use. The ability to remove sections is also believed to be a fun and engaging task for children, encouraging prescription appliance. Additionally, the whimsical design would reduce the stress that comes with taking your pills for kids. An Apple a Day does not need to just be for kids. Additional feedback has found that other user populations would benefit from our device, specifically older adults suffering from Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. Caretakers would be able to leave out each slice one a day to allow for continued monitoring, and users would be allowed to the autonomy of that comes with continued taking your pills.
You have 1 minute left.
So where do we go from here? Our next steps include further interviews and surveys with children and parents, doing additional prototyping as we have more ideas to incorporate, discussions with UMass Lowell plastics engineering faculty, as well as starting a Kickstarter campaign and a social media campaign to build awareness of our product. Fund application would go towards buying more materials for our additional prototyping, as well as investing in plastic injection molding process. Once we have a finalized version of our device, we plan to roll out initially on online marketplaces such as Etsy or Amazon. So we would need to factor in the cost of packaging and shipping our product. Once we are well known on the online marketplace, we hope to bring our product to you in person at big box stores and pharmacies. Anywhere you see a pill case today, we hope to have our product right next to it. And that being said, it's the most important thing to remember is that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Can we answer any questions for you?
Great presentation. This is Jack Wilson, and I just want to, thank you. Very innovative idea, very clever idea. I was wondering if you had issues around pill safety. Have you determined that the screw kind of an approach will provide adequate legal protection, that's required for safety of pill containers?
I actually did a little bit of polling with this. I talked to family who have young children, and the main thing is that just any bit of safety precautions with handling pills and medications around young children, anything would be better than, the normal, Sunday through Saturday pill containers that all they have is the normal plastic cap that just flips open. So we were just trying to take an extra safety precaution to be, one step ahead.
Thank you.
Additionally, this is the design we have right now. We're hoping in our next prototype to have more of like a push down cap that you see with prescription medication bottles now. So that's our next prototype, but we're limited in terms of the 3D printing technology of how fine we can get it.
What would it cost for a finished product?
Now, the pricing it would be a work in progress because obviously right now, the technology that we're using to produce this product is a 3D printer. And to make this in a mass production, we'd be wanting to use something like an injection molder. And that is actually a much higher cost than to buy a 3D printer. So it would have to be something that we would need to work with, trying to start off our prices high and work it down just to make up for the hole that we've dug to bring the product to market. So I think that what we're generally looking for in the long term would be a product around $15 to $20.
And this is also why we're trying to start conversations with the plastics engineering department, since the cost of injection molding is very variable based on the complexity of the product you're producing. We were hoping we could get a little bit more information. They would give us a little bit more idea of in terms of what we're looking at for that next step in the process.
We have a couple more minutes if there are other questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you for the presentation. Just curious to see, you mentioned that the slice of the apple can be taken, let's say, I wasn't clear how it can be protected. There seems to be, each slice doesn't seem to have a cover or a way to protect. So is that something you're planning on doing? Right now, it's like a shelf that's open.
Yeah, we realize that right now with the prototype we have, you can't technically without a cover take it wherever you want without things scattering and spilling everywhere. That is where we're going next. We're going to do a pop top. So it'll be 3 different individual pop tops so you can keep it together and keep it in one spot. Again, we're a little limited with the 3D printing, so we can't get that fine details, but that is the next prototype that we have already in the works.
I would have, if I may make a suggestion, I would include that because that's for safety purposes and also for carryability. I would include that in your presentation, that that's part of the plan. It's just the demo version you have doesn't have it.
Yeah, we do have that in our next step slide, but I breezed over it a little bit more because I was worried about time. I apologize.
No problem. Thank you.
Are we good on questions?
Just one quick one. You talked about the opportunity a little bit qualitatively, but quantitatively, what's the market size, do you think, and how many units would you be shipping?
So if we compare it to the current market with the children that are below 19 years old, like if we compare it from 0 to 19, it totally covers up to 45% of the market. And so seeing that, we are basically aiming for 10,000 production unit for the starting line. If I got your question right. Did you?
Yes, thank you.
Right.
All right. So thank you, Emily, Param, and Jack. Apple a day.
Everybody stay safe out there.
You all too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So the second team we're calling to the floor is Connect Knee. Team members are Alyssa Mulry, Jackson Kelly, Tiffany Miller, and Brennan McKay. Yes. That's Connect Knee.
And do be patient with us, folks. We are just changing people around, so thank you for your patience.
Hello, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Hello, thank you. Is it okay if I start? I'm going to start.
Go ahead.
Hello, thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Alyssa Mullery and our team is Team Connect Me. My other group mates are Jack Kelly and Tiffany Miller. Do any of you know of a person who has knee surgery, for example, an ACL repair? This is not surprising due to the fact that there are over 350,000 surgeries just for ACL reconstruction in the United States annually, which creates the perfect market for our new medical device, Connect Me. The problem we are focusing on is a slow and discouraging recovery after a knee surgery. As you can see in the chart, a patient's joy they experience severely decreases immediately following post-operation and does not return to normal until about 3 to 4 weeks after. Another problem area we are focusing on is the time lost, money spent, and the fluctuation of muscle strength post-operation. We created a survey to better understand the knee injury demographics, and our data collection showed us that of the people surveyed, 51% reported knee injuries, with 71% requiring surgery. We also found that the average time spent in recovery was just over 6 months, and the average age of injury was around 23. Because there have been 6.6 million knee injuries over a 10-year period, and the market size is already $1.5 billion with the expected annual growth rate of 4.3%, we think our product would boom in the industry. Our charts demonstrate the growth is seen across the board, and knee injuries are the most reported of all body parts. We also found from our survey that 73% of patients required physical therapy in their recoveries. Another reason this market is at the most ideal time to enter is there's only one major competitor already in, the DonJoy X4 Smart Brace. However, what sets us apart are 3 critical reasons. First, Connect Me includes electromyogram sensors to track the muscles and how they change. Second, Connect Me is a post-operative brace that can be used immediately following surgery, unlike the X4 Smart Brace, which is just a compression sleeve over the knee. And lastly, while the X4 Smart Brace targets the older generation where total knee reconstruction surgeries happen frequently, we believe targeting young recovering athletes who experience the most injuries due to sports will be the perfect market entryway. But don't just take our word for it. After surveying the opinions of physical therapists and medical practitioners, we gathered their feedback too. Our device will improve the quality, speed, and efficiency of the most common brace used, the hinge brace. And with 64% of physical therapy patients getting injured through sports, both our target audience and marketing strategies are ideal. This brace will be sold directly to physical therapy offices, allowing them the option to provide this advanced technology to the recovery athletes they see fit. Our opportunities don't end there. In the future, we can create devices that can be used as injury preventions for athletes or coaching assistants using similar technology, as well as expanding into different types of braces. So what exactly is our proposed solution? We believe that the modification of the hinge knee brace is key. Our product utilizes two types of sensors, electromyogram sensors and electrogoniometers. Electromyogram sensors are surface sensors that can be attached to any muscle. Connect Knee focuses on the major leg muscles affected, specifically on the quad, hamstring, and calf areas. The purpose of these sensors is to record muscle activity. So theoretically, there should be a big difference in the patient's EMG reading or muscle activity right after surgery compared to when their strength returns and they have a healthy, strong muscle. Electrogoniometers record range of motion in a joint. This is important because many patients immediately following surgery are not allowed to bend their knee at all. By incorporating this sensor into the device, it will allow the physical therapist to make sure the patient is maintaining the proper range of motion, and it allows the patient to visually see their knee becoming more flexible. The importance of this combination of sensors and the brace is to allow the patient to see how the strength returns to their muscles that have been affected. In the previous slide, you saw a graph of weak muscle contractions and strong muscle contractions, which are good examples of a before and after EMG of a hypothetical patient. Now, all this visible data tracked by the sensors will be compiled into an easy-to-use app that comes with this brace, allowing patients and therapists to constantly monitor recovery efforts, making sure that patient stays on track with their exercises and physical therapy. This also allows the physical therapist to make changes and adjustments to the patient's plan sooner so they can have the best recovery. This visual data is key to keeping the patients motivated and engaged in their recovery, because what else can a patient want than to recover quickly and return to their normal self? How can we achieve this? With the help of a $6,000 investment, we can develop a proper working prototype and an app that can bring our idea to life. We secured the $4,000 contribution to a Healthier Lifestyle Award sponsored by the Circle Health and the Risk DifferenceMaker 50K Idea Challenge. Therefore, we need approximately $2,000 more to fully develop our idea. Over the next year, we plan to construct, test, and fully create a functioning smart brace that will help not only speed up recovery time, but allow patients to track their health day by day, minute by minute. We live in a world where we can have smart cars, smartphones, and even smart water. So why can't your recovery be smart too? Thank you.
Thank you. Well within the 5 minutes. So we can start our Q&A.
Lovely job, and very important issue, and I like the way you reached across disciplines to work on that. Do you see what do you see as the biggest technical challenges for you ahead in making this happen?
So as of right now, the biggest problem we're going to have technology-wise is actually finding the correct placement for the EMG sensors, because each injury is going to be different. So and each person's leg has their muscles kind of different in a way. So the biggest problem is going to be finding the exact placement and also making it so that we can move our sensors to account for each person's anatomy.
Thank you.
So you have to custom make every bracelet for each person, right?
In a way, they'll be adjustable for each person. So say along the top strap, you'll be able to move the EMG sensor along it. So it would be placed by the physical therapist, because they'll be the ones who help fit the brace, and they can move it to get a better reading for each person.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to do it on at your place. Do you need a FDA approval for this? I don't think so, right?
This would be, I believe it's a class Well, it can be a class 1 or class 2. It is class 1 because it does not enter into the body, but it does have the electronic components, which can sometimes push it into a class 2. So in a way, we will eventually hopefully go through the FDA approval. But because there are so many other braces out right now, the basics of it have already been gone through the FDA. So we just have to show them the new aspects of our brace.
Will this be the only brace with the EMG, or do they exist already?
So the only person that is really out there right now is going to be the Dawn Joy X4 Smart Brace. And we would be like one of the onlys that uses both the EMG and the goniometer. And we believe that that combination will be really helpful when it comes to seeing the progression of both the muscle and your range of motion.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Could you patent this idea?
I believe so. I mean, there's nothing out there that would be stopping us from doing that.
Do you have an idea of what this will cost to make and what you would sell it for? And would there be a reimbursement component to this for the patient? Because it sounds like it will be expensive.
So it'll end up being more of like which sensor we end up using in the end, like that kind of thing. But most braces right now themselves are between just like 150 to 300 just for a hinged knee brace. So we're hoping to stay close to this if possible. Of course, that's going to change depending on the technology we put into it. But when we were talking about like insurance covering parts, that is all through the physical therapy department. So what we were hoping to do is to sell it to the physical therapist, and then they can work from there with the patient and the insurance company.
Okay.
We got 1 minute if there are any other questions.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Very interesting idea. I love medical devices. Have you actually built some sort of a prototype to see how this can be realistically portrayed, the way the patient feels, the pain and the recovery? Do you have some proof of concept?
So we do not have a physical prototype yet, but we have asked patients who have recovered, and we have also used both of these kinds of sensors before, just in personal projects and through school. So we know like the basics behind the sensors, and we have Alyssa, can you scroll to the last slide to show the CAD?
Yes.
In our appendix? So this is the one that is going to be this shows like where the sensors would be placed in that kind of idea. We are hopefully getting our parts very soon to be able to actually put this into a physical prototype.
All right, thank you, Connect Knee. Thank you very much. So team number 3, if you want to get ready, is FEM, calling on Masanika Mom, Skylar Murphy, Joanna Chase, and Christine Tiara.
Hello.
Hi, Masanika.
Hi. Hello. Hello. You should be able to see now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you're good.
Everything looks good.
Okay. Okay. Hi, we're Project FEM. My name is Masonica Mom, and my group members are Joanna Chase, Kristen Chiara, and Skylar Murphy. Our foundation for this issue is that we wanted to help women in countries of need who struggle to cope with their periods. Us women have an understanding of the hardships we face due to our menstrual cycle, though living in a modern society, and could imagine that our struggles are incomparable to women in third world countries. We narrowed in on the population of women in Nigeria. In the country of Nigeria, women lack access to sanitary pads and other products, menstrual products. Nigerian women also face many challenges because they are unable to afford them. For 1 week, once a month, every month, young women are missing school, work, and mainly bedridden and are forced to use unsanitary materials that take a toll on their bodily health. All women deserve a fair advantage at life and basic hygienic care, and we want to tackle this problem head on.
In Nigeria, over 40.1% of the population lives in poverty. This results in a prioritization of resources, leading to a lack of menstrual supplies for most women in poverty. Of the women between ages 15 to 29 in Nigeria, 37% lack access to supplies to prevent leakages and stains and places to dispose of used menstrual products. As a result of this lack of products, many women will use scraps of old clothing, leaves, even raw banana fibers if they can't afford proper sanitary pads and hygiene. If these materials are contaminated with fungi or bacteria, the girl is at risk for infection and pelvic inflammatory disease. With the unreliability of these unsanitary materials, most girls will skip school during their cycle. On average, a girl in Nigeria will miss 3 days per cycle, resulting in a total of 30 days of skip school per year, which is more than enough to significantly affect their education, and can lead to many girls dropping out of school around the age of 16. The stigma follows them home, as many families have separate living quarters for women while they're menstruating, as it is seen as dirty and shameful, and some believe that the female is cursed and possessed by an evil spirit during the cycle, bringing bad luck. A current attempt at a solution is through activist Lolo Cynthia, who has traveled around Nigeria speaking to girls about menstruation and sexual health and teaching them how to sew their own washable pads out of clothing and other materials. With this effort, Lolo is effectively giving these girls another sanitary option. The advantages of the washable pad are that it's a product that's designated for periods versus using spare materials. They're easy to make and they, in thought, can be reused. However, a large amount of Nigeria still struggles to find clean water, and as a result, their ability to wash a pad in a way that is completely sanitary to be used again may be almost impossible. We want to be able to help women in Nigeria without interfering with the country's economy and disrupting the natural environment.
Our proposed solution is accessible biodegradable pads created using natural sources that are highly accessible in Nigeria. Cotton and banana are two resources in Nigeria that are in abundance and easily accessible. The fibers from the banana plant are harvested from the stems. They are very absorbent without the use of any chemicals, and after being cleaned and straightened, they are safe to the body. The cotton could then be layered into 3 to 4 sheets depending on the person's body type, and is used to hold the raw fiber for maximum comfort. There will be an adhesive added to the back of the cotton pad so that it can be attached to a clothed garment. The natural glue, called gum arabic, will be used as an adhesive, which makes the entire product environmental friendly and compostable. These pads would take 5 to 6 months to decompose, compared to a modern full-size pad full of toxins, chemicals, plastics, which could take more than 500 years to decompose. The many benefits of this pad is that it's accessible, customizable, and biodegradable. The resources are ready at hand and can be customized for every body type and every period type. Our solution is unique and creative because we're creating a resource women in Nigeria can easily access, reducing their challenges and financial burdens. We will now introduce our prototype. This prototype contains 4 to 5 base layers of cotton sheets and a singular layer on the top. The banana fibers are held within the layers of cotton sheets and act as an absorbent. There is a gum arabic applied onto the back of the pad to be placed onto a cloth undergarment or pants.
The resources our project requires do not end up being that costly, as many of our materials can be found in Nigeria, the epicenter for our project. The main need for funding is to get our project kickstarted. Once we get the idea up and running, our goal is to get money through charitable funding. This product is not for us to make money, but rather to make a difference. We hope that if we can eventually get enough funding, our product can spread to other third world countries where other women are in need of this as well.
To get started with our idea, we would need initial funding of around $2,000 to $4,000 in order to make this a reality. This initial funding would allow us to make the product for real and spread awareness about it around the world. We plan to spend as much time needed each month to get our project out of the planning phase. We understand something like this doesn't happen overnight and are willing to put in the time and the effort. We hope that after learning about our idea, our project can help the Nigerian women who have no access to proper sanitary menstrual products.
Thank you, Fem. Let's
Thank
open up
you.
for questions.
This is a great example of social entrepreneurship. It's it's a very important problem. Like the way you've gone after the solution and so on. One of the real keys to social entrepreneurship is to understand, how do you make it sustainable over the long term? Have you given thoughts about how you might design this so that you could keep it sustainable and that you would be able to to continue this on? Is there a revenue source? Would it be charitable fundraising? Would it be a for-profit where you spin the profit back into keeping it going? What thoughts do you have on that?
So we actually we don't want to benefit like financially from it. Nigeria is one of the most like banana producing, like highest in banana producing and cotton producing. So all the resources would be at hand for them. What we'd need for funding is just to, be able to get in contact with women in Nigeria to be able to create the product, rather than, making something that would be manufactured and benefiting from it, if that answers your question.
And to kind of go off of that, oh wait, sorry. Our goal is just to, okay, thank you.
I was just gonna, kind of ask a little bit of a follow-up of, but how do you keep this going? There's got to be some costs eventually, and I just wondered how you keep it going.
So our goal actually is, we're kind of creating more of a process versus a prototype. So our goal is to create something that women in Nigeria can make themselves. So in that way, they'd have the idea, and we're kind of just creating the opportunity for them to replicate themselves. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be like sustainable through cost efficient. It'd be sustainable through the idea to be passed down, so they're able to create the prototype themselves, if that makes sense. If that answers your question.
It does, but it's really an educational opportunity, because you're going to have to teach individuals how to do this, and so you have to have some mechanism to do that. And if you can use a kind of a classic a pyramid scheme where you have each one teach one kind of a thing, and that's one possibility. Another possibility is charitable support for educational programs, which could be in a variety of ways. And so I was just wondering, or do you feel like you'll just get it started and it'll go from there?
I feel like once we get the idea out there and we get it out to people who find out about it, our plan was to make a sort of way to know how to make it, and we pass that around, and we talk to more people in Nigeria if we can, and spread that idea around. And since they'll have the materials around, if they need it, they'll be able to make it, or anything like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have you seen?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you have a social media strategy for this, for the communication process and spreading that, spreading the methodology and the process once you get it ironed out?
We don't have one at the moment, but our plan is to eventually, we will get on any platform we can. I know Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things that are big like that. We'll spread our idea as much as we can and start around in the communities. And I'm not from Massachusetts, so I can spread it more down by where I live in New Jersey and New York, in that area, and our idea can spread much faster that way.
Okay, thank you.
Have you looked at other solutions out there? I have seen something like this before, and there is a nonprofit that's doing it for girls in India.
So we did look, because originally we were looking at, I think, 4 countries, looking at Afghanistan, India, Nigeria, and Kenya, just to see like the variety. And the main thing is, so we know in Nigeria, they also have these banana producing, like they're very high in their natural resources with bananas. So our goal was just to focus on Nigeria at the moment. and kind of take what we saw in India and create our own solution based off of that in order to help people in a different place. But our goal eventually would be to kind of like edit it and like adapt it to other countries. So it'd be similar to the one in India. And we could talk to people in India who run this nonprofit and kind of work with them too, because they could also help spread it around to Nigeria as well. If that answers your question.
Yeah.
We are about 30 seconds if there is another quick question. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So calling our fourth team, Strip Away the Backlog. Team members Emily Dirty, Victoria Acosta Diaz, Madison Merrill, and Ariel Delaney.
Can you see my screen all right? Hello. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. We are Strip Away the Backlog, and I'm Victoria. I'm Emily.
And I'm Ariel.
The problem that we are addressing is the substantial backlog of rape kits across the United States. There are hundreds of thousands of rape kits awaiting to be tested due to a lack of resources and a lack of coherence of testing procedures. There is no national standard of testing nor a tracking system of these kits. Currently, kits take weeks or even months to get results once they are tested. Sexual assault survivors must wait these long times to get results and to pursue legal action against their aggressor. Victim notification protocols also vary, and it is important to follow a trauma-informed and victim-centered approach when delivering these results. More than 1/3 of women experience sexual violence in their lifetime. This issue affects public safety as there may be criminals that are living free due to this backlog, and those who have been wrongfully convicted of a sex crime they did not commit are also affected.
We have hopes to pitch our innovative design as a nonprofit in the future. Our ultimate goal is to help people not receive compensation, thus meaning we intend to break even. Our avenue to do so will include making strategic partnerships, applying for grants, and/or taking donations. We've already made steps toward these goals through contact with the Joyful Heart Foundation and Ventura. In regard to the market we would be addressing, there's incredible potential. As of 1998, over 17.7 million American women were victims of sexual assault, and that number is steadily rising. Though the number itself is shocking, it must be considered that men and victims who remain silent were not included. Thus, the market is even larger than it first appears. If you look to the right at the two pictures, it's worth it to note just how close to home these numbers can hit. More than 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience sexual violence involving physical contact at some point during their lives. To wrap up about the opportunity, we first need to consider the benefits. The direct customers of our technology are sexual assault nurse examiners, crime labs, and potentially police departments on a small scale. Crime labs would be the main target audience, and they would see the benefits from our product almost immediately, because the quicker the evidence is, the more kits that can be tested. This leads to our overall mission to reduce the backlog. Before getting into indirect customer benefits, I must first disclose who the indirect customer is, the victim. The victim would get justice faster, which may provide them with a sense of closure that is much needed, and they would experience a safer environment overall. Now for the last concern in regard to opportunity, our competitor market analysis. To be fair, our competitor market analysis is fairly simple. We're a niche in the market and to a degree a niche in our field of study. All of that to say, after extensive research, we have found no direct competition besides that of the current practice, which includes independent tests for each specimen.
Taking everything into account, we will be implementing 3-in-1 detecting capabilities using ELISA immunoassay technology. Unlike the current testing process, this device will be able to detect the presence of 3 foreign specimens, of which we picked saliva, semen, and blood. And to increase the statistical significance, this test strip design includes a positive and negative control
in addition to the test variable, as shown on the bottle on the right. Our intuitive design will make this device easy to use and will in turn require minimum training. Additionally, this product will allow forensic labs to allocate their resources better, as this test strip will be easy to manufacture and will yield fast results. This product will be sustained over time through the implementation in forensic labs in Massachusetts, additionally. And we are looking at a different technology that could be implemented to make this more efficient while also using quantitative results in the future.
If we were to be awarded funding, we'd first assemble our physical prototype and conduct some bench testing. We'd also like to use some funding for professional development of our team, as we're hoping to eventually develop a non-for-profit organization that would promote the use of our rape kit test and support sexual assault survivors. We'd also like to collaborate with the Massachusetts Crime Lab to implement our testing procedure. An update from our team since our last video is that we've been awarded a VentureWell e-team grant of $5,000. We hope to use this money towards professional development of our team and awareness of our prototype, and we hope to keep this momentum going with DifferenceMaker. We'd like to thank our alumni team and our mentor, Dr. Yang Finley, for assisting us with this project. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you. Great presentation. Clearly, there is a need for this, and you expressed it really well. Just curious if you had proof of concept with these ELISA assays.
Yeah, so I can answer that question. So right now we haven't built a physical prototype yet, but however, we have designed it as we had it in the presentation with SolidWorks and everything. We do have some materials ordered already, and they are currently in UMass Lowell. So we're just waiting for the go to go ahead and start on this project. We're looking to potentially work on it in the spring once it's, due with COVID reasons and everything, once it opens up. So
you don't know if the type of ELISA assay you pick could detect some of the things that you're looking for, so whether it's saliva, it's semen, or blood.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You got it.
Okay, so ELISA is actually a well-practiced technique in biological assays. So in terms of using ELISA, it's very well practiced, and I think we'll be okay in that aspect. It's actually our paper strip that we need to test, which uses ELISA technology. So it's going to be the manufacturing of the strip that we still need to work on.
You mentioned a potential partnership with, Massachusetts Crime Lab. Did you have a chance to interview anybody from the Crime Lab and ask them about their reactions to this?
So a former team member, because we inherited our project from like a previous team, they had already been in contact with a specific lady from the Crime Lab, which I don't want to disclose her name just for her personal reasons. I don't know if she would feel comfortable with that. But we have not been in contact with her directly. We have sent out a few emails. We're still awaiting a response. And should she not get in contact with us in a timely manner, we're going to reach out to the Massachusetts Crime Labs as a whole, like as a whole entity, and see if we can get in touch with them.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, this has to be admissible in the court of law as an evidence. Otherwise, it would be not that useful then.
Right, so we've looked at those laws, specifically in Massachusetts. We're starting in Massachusetts. The sexual assault and rape kit processing laws in Massachusetts, so we're aware of those.
are there any more questions?
Sounds like you've done a very good job of answering all of our questions ahead of time.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Strip away the backlog. So the last team up is Wonder Wheel. And I want to invite Sanskriti Sharma and Alexander Hofer to come in to do their pitch.
Hello.
Hello.
Sana, you're muted, I think.
I always do this. Hello.
Okay, let me.
Hello. So I'm Sanskriti Sharma.
Sorry. And I'm Alexander Hafer.
And we are Team Wonder Wheel.
Manual wheelchair users have diverse needs that differ for each. Many have difficulty in using their wheelchairs for extended periods or to travel long distances. While wheelchair users with such difficulties may turn to power wheelchairs to address their needs, there are those for whom a power chair is not a solution, such as part-time wheelchair users or those who cannot meet the logistical demands and costs of a power chair. These users turn to smaller devices called power assists instead, which allow manual chairs to be propelled electrically. We surveyed manual wheelchair users and found that most use their wheelchair part-time. Furthermore, most would prefer to spend $2,000 or less on a power assist device, with the majority willing to spend at most $1,000. When compared to the cost of power chairs at $3,000 or more, or the cost of power assists, which can be as high or higher than $6,000, it is clear that many wheelchair users are unable to address their needs with the devices currently available to them.
The United States has a significant wheelchair using population. Recently becoming a wheelchair user myself has introduced me to this large community, and speaking to several members made it clear that both power wheelchairs and wheelchair power assists are extremely difficult to get through insurance. When I went through the process myself, the sheer cost, even after having good insurance, was so much that I couldn't afford it. However, to make sure that this product was needed by the community, we also put out a survey on online forums. In under a week, we had 78 responses. Also, the fact that so many devices already exist on the market, despite their price, speaks for itself. Our survey on the earlier slide showed that the majority of people need a power assist that costs less than $1,000. Even the companion, which is the cheapest one on the list, is twice that. And it isn't even available in the United States. A study done in North Florida showed that when power assistance is available to wheelchair users, they traverse longer distances in their daily lives, expanding their opportunities and enhancing their quality of life. A different study showed that most of the study's participants felt the power assist wheels provided more independence and social opportunities.
Our solution is the Wonder Wheel, a power assist device that is affordable to the user without sacrificing performance. Our device would increase access to power assist for manual wheelchair users without imposing a significant financial burden. Based on our survey, we chose a joystick to control the device. This allows the user to drive their chair as if it were a power chair with full control over steering and speed. Survey respondents also indicated that a companion app for smart devices would be a useful feature. To meet this demand, we are developing an app that will tell the user the device's battery charge and estimated range, as well as allowing the user to tune speed and acceleration parameters to fit their needs.
As you can see, while being significantly cheaper, our product will be comparable to those on the market. The joystick, which was a crowd favorite, is only found in one other major competitor. Our product also aims to be lighter than the lightest device on the market at around 10 pounds and should be able to work at an incline similar to other products, most other products on the market.
Our prototype is built around an ESP32 microcontroller that is responsible for top-level control. It reads the signals sent from the joystick and converts them into speed and angle targets that are used by the O-Drive motor controller, which uses this information to drive the two operational motors. For feedback, an encoder is used to monitor the drive's motor speed. The gear motor used for steering has an integrated sensor which allows the motor controller to know what the current steering angle is. The device is powered using a lithium-ion battery at 24 volts with a buck converter used to supply the microcontroller at 3.3 volts. Lastly, the controller uses its onboard Bluetooth antenna to communicate with any smart device running our app. The ESP32 was chosen specifically for its dual cores, allowing it to run the device and communicate with the app at the same time.
We seek $2,500 in funding. Funding from the DifferenceMaker competition would first go towards building a functional prototype to evaluate the feasibility of our design. The cost of the parts required for this are on the slide. Sorry. The total would add up to approximately $900. We will use the lessons and experience learned from this phase to design and develop a better prototype. This will use some of our surplus funds. After our concept testing phase is done, the remaining funding would be used to begin developing a user experience prototype and to source custom made mechanical and electrical components. Once we are confident it meets our performance and cost requirements, we will search for industry partners to produce and market our device. Until then, we plan to participate in startup pitch competitions, startup incubators, and to reach out to interested communities to ensure our project has the funding, feedback, and expertise needed for our project to reach its developmental goals.
That's 5 minutes, yo. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Great
please
timing. Thank you. We open it up for questions.
I'm curious as to, there's a variety of technical solutions for driving, wheeled vehicles that are, and one of the things that I've seen that have been years ago for bicycles would be simply an electric driven motor or even a gasoline driven motor, which would just have friction drive right on the wheels, which would, I'm wondering why they go to the fifth wheel solution rather than a wheel just driving one of the driving wheels.
So actually, there is a device on the market that uses that approach. That's the Benoist Systems Light Drive. As far as I can tell, it's primarily available in Europe and Australia. It is the most expensive device we're able to find currently on the market. I don't know how much that's related to the mechanics of the device. It's also relatively compact. It's effectively just a bar that stretches across the back of the wheelchair and interfaces with the wheels. One issue with the friction drive that we were concerned about is that if the wheelchair rolls over any oil, like an oil slick or a gummy or sticky material, it could get stuck into the works or lose traction entirely on the drive.
I have a question on pricing.
Sure.
Your bill of materials without the real chair, just the electronics itself is about $1,000 or $900. I know with volume you can get it much cheaper, but with the chair, the other pricing that you have is a finished product available in a store.
One thing to point out, none of these devices come with a chair. These are all devices that are mounted to a chair. An existing wheelchair, like the Smart Drive, for example, it attaches to rigid chairs. Rigid chairs usually have an axle. It just mounts to the axle, or with a folding chair, it has an axle adapter.
So the price, then you're comparing apples to apples.
Yes.
Why would they not copy your idea?
Well, we, in our analysis of, and Sana, you can jump in. Sorry if I'm taking.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
With our analysis, the device that is most comparable to ours in terms of seeking a low-cost solution is the Companion. The Companion is, form factor-wise, it's effectively a small powered scooter that slots into the front of the wheelchair and attaches to a mounting bracket. And we believe, at least from the research I've been doing, I think part of the reason most of these have such high costs is trying to seek a given level of FDA approval for insurance reasons. The Companion, it was difficult for me to tell if insurance can pay for it. Some vendors said yes, some said no. But we're hoping to make a device that, while $1,000 is our ideal target, much of who we surveyed would accept over the 1,000 to 2,000 range. So we're hoping to have a device at least in that range with comparable functionality.
So your $900 is a goal. It's not something that you've.
The $900 is the cost of our current prototype design that we're going to use for evaluation and testing. Certain costs I expect will go down with a full manufactured design. For example, the gear motor we've chosen, a single one is around $100. If you buy them in bulk, they're $50 or less.
Okay,
So-
is there another question?
Yeah, so this is an ambitious project. Do you think you would want to add some different expertise to your team?
Yes.
And what would that be? Yeah.
Yes, that is definitely one thing we are going to be seeking out. We are
A
in,
mechanical engineer?
yes,
Yeah.
we are in particular need of a mechanical engineer.
You nailed it. Yeah. Okay.
I've done the mechanics myself so far, and yes, we're definitely going to be looking for expertise, people we can add onto the team.
Yes, and not just mechanical stuff, even possibly the business side of things and things like that. We definitely are looking to grow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. So that wraps our last presentation. Just want to say that was some really impressive work, all of you. Thank you very much. Great job. So we have 30 minutes now, a break for all of you while the judges select that other Zoom link that you had to go into the judging session. So we're going to be coming back here at 8:15. But before you all leave, for the rest of you, I want to say that all of the teams did some really creative work here, and there's still an opportunity to win the Fan Favorite Award. So stick around, it might be you. So come back at 8:15 and join us. And for those who win the Fan Favorite Award, you will have a chance for doing a 5-minute pitch as well. So see you all soon. The judges were busy at work this past half hour. The decision was difficult. It was very close, but we have determined who the top 3 are. So Diane will put up the slides. The 3rd place goes to need a drum roll. There you go. The suspense, Diane.
Oh, you're waiting for me? Okay,
Yes.
it's up. I was waiting for you.
Strip Away the Backlog takes the 3rd place. Congratulations, you all.
Awesome.
It's a great job. So you're awarded $1,000. All right, the 2nd place goes to FemMe.
Great job.
A shout out to Masanika, part of our RAMP program this last summer. Nice job. And the 1st place goes to Connect Me. Congratulations. Everybody was very impressed with your presentation, the work that you did, your idea. So well deserved. So I also want to mention that there is another award for the rest of you who are waiting. Your friends have voted. The People's Choice Award goes to Terrarium for Mars.
Yay.
Yay. So we also want to say that we awarded Apple a Day and Wonder Wheel as honorable mentions. So, you all did great work. So, certainly happy to follow up with each of you and see how we can move this forward. So thank you for participating. I want to give Terrarium an opportunity to present their work. You have 5 minutes if you want to do that. Is anybody saying anything on chat from Terrarium?
Or can they speak?
Let me see if my team is on.
Okay, Ariel said.
Ariel?
You could just ad lib too, Ariel.
Ariel, do you want to chime in?
I'm not sure how many of my team members are on, but if Gabriel Asmar, Dan Greeny, or Michael Potteroff are on, that would be great if you can bring them up.
Want to tell us a bit about your project, Ariel, while we're waiting?
Yeah. So our goal was to create a terrarium that could allow people to live pretty much anywhere. So yeah, I'll share anyways, even if no one else is here.
Of course.
It was just a chat that I think some of your team members are coming on.
All right, awesome. Let me see. All right, so is everyone seeing the presentation?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. So our project is the Terminus, which is the terrarium for Mars. So Earth's orbit, Mars, the Arctic, mountainous terrain, the ocean floor, deserts, the moon, all places we have yet to explore. But these are not ideal locations to grow food. It's very expensive to transport cargo to these locations, which lack the infrastructure to regularly ship food. According to NASA, it costs $10,000 to put a pound of payload into Earth's orbit, which doesn't count like the moon or Mars. So plants require controlled temperature, humidity, soil pH, soil moisture, soil composition, and light to grow efficiently. Houston, we have a solution. So we have a strong market in the global space economy, which is projected to reach $423.8 billion, and the deep sea mining market, which is projected to grow to $15.3 billion. So competing projects include smart terrariums, indoor farming, and our goal is to design a product that recycles as much material as possible while preventing bacterial and fungal infection in the plants. So as you can see from our market research, there have been spikes in interest in indoor gardening and gardening in general since the pandemic hit. So we conducted a survey and found that many gardeners that we found online were interested in indoor gardening, even if they didn't currently have an indoor garden or terrarium. And over half were interested or were uncertain if they would be interested in an automated terrarium. We interviewed them to see what sort of features they would like, and we found that they wanted maintaining the humidity of the terrarium, soil moisture, artificial lighting, and mess-free solutions to indoor gardening. Our project aims to control all of the factors vital to a plant's survival to provide a solution to grow food in both remote and extreme environments. So here you can see we have a 3D model of our terrarium. Our frame is going to be made out of T-slotted framing rails, which will slide glass into. We have natural rubber gaskets on the inside and silicone on the outside. Our chassis houses our humidity system. Everything in red is our electrical system. And then we have our 2/3 scale mock prototype where we have our loam, pebbles, charcoal, peat moss. Loam is 12 inches, the rest are each 2 inches. Water will soak upwards. So condensed water will collect in the pebbles layer and soak upwards through charcoal and peat moss to hydrate the soil without increasing the humidity of the air. And we have our ranges here. So for the majority of the terrarium's life, we're going to be aiming for 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit and a humidity range of 40 to 60%. If we have to go a little below 60 degrees or a little above 70 degrees, that's fine as long as we keep the humidity under 60% and we don't exceed 75 degrees or go below 55. If my electrical engineer was on, he would talk about this, but since I don't know much, I'll go over it very briefly. The brain is the Arduino. The system is going to be collecting our live sensor data. Our lights are on timers, and it currently runs on AC power, but we hope to switch to DC in the future. Our humidity system is going to have a fan, compressor, and inline duct fan. And then our terminists will monitor and control soil pH and moisture, humidity and air temperature, and light exposure to allow researchers to focus on their work rather than their food supply. So again, if I had Michael on, he would be able to talk about this in more detail. But this is focusing on taking heat away from the humidity within the humid air within the terrarium to cause water to condense, which would then be siphoned down to our pebbles layer. And then what makes our terminus unique is that it controls moisture through a humidity system, which most other comparable designs don't. It reduces outgassing while still using standard parts, allowing it to be cheaply produced. It has sensors which collect data and give real-time alerts, and it's fully enclosed. In the future, we plan to develop this system for other varieties of crops, scale the design up, and offer repair and replacement parts for all of our products. And so the cost for our first prototype would be $980. That was going to be the end of our presentation. So thank you very much.
That's amazing, Ariel. Thank you. Go on Kickstarter. I'm signing up.
Oh, thank you. That was actually our next plan. Thank you so much. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this at all.
Thank you, friends. You're the people's favorite.
Are there any questions for us? I know not all of us are on, but I can try my best to answer.
I thought that was a great presentation.
That was a terrific presentation. What a neat idea. A terrarium for Mars and other places.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can do something other than kale. I'm in.
I'll vote for that too.
Yeah, we decided to start with kale because it's just a hardy plant that's also very nutritious, but the idea was to eventually branch off into more typical crop plants like tomatoes or strawberries, more compact, but also nutritious and appealing produce.
You don't know what you're missing if you don't like kale.
I know what I'm missing. My wife loves kale and we have it a lot. And
all right, thank you all. So Ariel, if you want to, that's a nice picture, but I'm gonna have to bring Provost.
Yeah, just thank you very much for letting me present.
Great job.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Great job, everybody. So I want to introduce Provost Joe Hartman now, who will offer closing remarks.
Thank you, Kavitha, and thank you to everyone for putting on tonight's event, the College of Engineering, Kavitha, Jim, and Diane. Thank you so much. Thank you to our judges. I missed the first presentation, but thoroughly enjoyed everything I saw tonight. Ram, Chad, Mark, Jack, great to see you all. Manija, I know we haven't met, but I appreciate your help tonight. To all our students, I'm just thrilled you. I know this has not been an ideal semester. There's no other way to put it. It's been a very tough one, but to persevere not only through your school studies, but also to hop into the DifferenceMaker event is just a testament to you and your perseverance. And also, I hope you got something out of this great program. Holly, thank you for continuing to run this fantastic program with Steve Tello. It's great to see our students embracing entrepreneurship and innovation. And I think I'm most thrilled by the presentations I saw tonight and reading about the one that I missed. What an outpouring of desire to help people. And it's just heartwarming to see this. I don't know how many times you heard tonight, we're not in it for the profit. We're here to help people. And it's, in these tough times, it's great to hear those types of messages. So just wanted to express my thanks to see this continue and succeed. And thank you all for your fantastic ideas. And for those that didn't win, I know the first place team is automatically in the finals at DifferenceMaker. For the rest of you, continue next semester. There's $50,000 up for the winnings there in the Idea Challenge. And you have all been properly grilled ahead of time here and should have a leg up on the competition. So please please consider doing that. I'm sure Holly can provide plenty more information on how to make that happen. So with that, I'll turn it back over. Or actually, I'll turn it over to the Dean of Engineering, James Sherwood. Jim.
Thanks, Joe. So I just want to say good evening to everyone. And it's really an honor for the college to host this event. It really gives you guys an opportunity to exercise your creative talents and the entrepreneurial spirit. That's a hard word for me to say. I mean, it's great to see that come out in you guys. I want to start by saying a lot of thank yous here. I want to thank the judges once again for lending their experience, for asking the tough questions. Thank you to the audience. I'm glad to see that we had a very large group here with us and you've stuck with us through the evening. I also want to thank Kavita Chandra for hosting it. Provost Hartman and I had a conflicting event. We weren't able to be here in the beginning. And Kavita, thank you for stepping up and doing this. And most of all, thank you to Diane Franklin and Holly Butler for all the planning that goes into this event. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So even though we didn't get to see all of the teams present tonight, I did have the opportunity last night. I looked through all the PowerPoint presentations, and it was amazing at the range of innovative ideas that the teams proposed. I apologize that I'm fighting a cold here. So, and as I looked through the presentations, it was really evident that you guys all put a lot of time and effort and passion into your products. So for those who want a cash prize, I ask that you put that funding to work right away so you can take your projects to the next level. And for those who didn't win tonight, as Provost Hartman said, don't give up yet. Take the feedback that you got from the judges and use it to advance your product, and then try again. There are a lot of products that get turned down many times in the beginning before they finally achieve success. So don't stop now. So I just want to say congratulations to all the teams. Good night to all. Thank you very much.